with my buddy Dash for this episode of Double Take. Dave, I just said joined by Dash, but we're joined by Dash
Talking
and
in
Dave.
the third person. That's
The way you
weird.
look,
the way you feel.
Happy post-Champions League final eve, guys. Thanks for joining us for a record-breaking show, guys, because today, Serie A have absolutely shattered the record for the most embarrassing team turnout in finals history. Serie A now holds the record for the fastest and the first treble of losses in the modern football area. So big ups to Serie A. Also, by the way, Serie A, can you fire the guy that made the whole advertising promo saying Calcio is back, because you guys are an absolute joke.
Was
Because
it Serie A or was it IFTV or was,
no, it
they
was Serie A.
jumped on?
Serie A was the one that made it. There was like this whole like commercial that Serie A made about saying Calcio is back, and yeah, it's back.
It's
back front and center.
Everyone, here it is.
Taking the biggest L's of all time, because again, no one's ever done that before. Three teams of the same country, all losing in the same time. So just big round of applause for you, Serie A. Just good job, Serie A, everybody.
Honestly, though, Inter should have had that game.
Oh, absolutely. Lukaku literally just decided that he wants to play for Manchester City next season, because this is the consecutive final that Romelu Lukaku blocked an empty net. He did it against Sevilla in the Europa League final, and then he does it again against Manchester City. Mind you, also Lukaku also headed it right at Ederson. So it's like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Like the thing is like, I honestly feel for Inter folks, because it's like, I would have rather lost 3-4-0. To lose like this was terrible. Because I think you and I both agree. I think they should have won.
Oh, easy. They should. Yeah, 100%.
I think they should have won. I really do.
One of those should have went in. Okay, so Rodrigo had an amazing shot.
Oh, it was a great shot.
And a great build-up from Bernardo.
So it's like...
I mean, I took Bernardo and Rodrigo. Like, none of the English play. And I will continue to trash on, like, English football, because, I mean, none of them played that well. Let's be honest. Grealish
was terrible.
Holland,
I was going to say, Holland, outside of, like, one shot, like, I didn't see him the rest of the game besides that shot in the beginning.
De Bruyne better get his retirement papers ready.
Look, I'm just gonna say this, man. You wanna know how to like do decent against an all-star team? Just like make sure if they have like, what's with Belgian players and flopping in finals? Like, this is the consecutive final that De Bruyne's hamstring decides to not work, and then Lukaku like goes into prime Lukaku form. Like, I don't think Megan Thee Stallion's gonna help him after this one either. Like, it's just oof. And, you know, me as a Juventini, I'm on the petty bus, so I'm loving every minute of this, because like, you know, I feel bad for him. I really do, because like, this is one of those things where we, you know, everyone used to complain about us saying, what if Dani Alves had that penalty called against him for the suplex that he did to Pogba against Barcelona in the Champions League final, and everyone would tell us, cry. Yeah, well, you know what? Call me disingenuous. Don't really care. You lose. You lost. Because no one's really going to remember in 5 or 10 years. No one's going to remember how the games went or how it happened. It's more so who won. And none of them won.
Oh, man. It was, overall, though, I got to say, it was probably the most entertaining final in the past few years.
I thought the Fiorentina-West Ham final was better.
I'm talking about Champions League finals. The Champions League finals have been bad the past few years. They have not entertained me really, right? But at least today, even though it was still a 1-0, it was rather entertaining. The chances created, I mean, they were up there. There was chances.
Yeah. And that was the thing that I just thought was interesting, was just like, you could tell that City was nervous. or they were atrociously nervous.
I think they're just not used to playing a tactical side. Like Inter's a very technical side, like on the back line.
Yeah.
They play a lot like any of the big Italian teams would, like Roma with Mourinho set up very similarly, right? They're just going to lock down the center.
I would say this, like, so for example, the one thing I'll give Inter for sure is Inter is probably one of the most deadliest teams on the counterattack.
Yes. Like DeMarco today was actually pretty impressive. Like, where did this guy come from?
I think, to be honest with you, I think DeMarco's been Inter's best player the entire
this season. He's been pretty good.
Yeah, like I think DeMarco's probably like their most important player. Because, like, you know, the thing is it makes me wonder, like, what if Inter actually had a striker that knew how to finish?
What if Juve did?
That touche.
What if Roma did?
Because you know, the thing is, and this is what kind of makes it interesting, because it's like, okay, Romelu Lukaku is technically worth like 80-90 million, same amount of value as Dusan is. So like I can't, like, you can't use the argument of, oh well, his value is high, so that means he must be a clutch striker. Yeah, I mean, look,
yeah, wasn't clutch today, anyways.
Wasn't clutch. He wasn't clutch. He wasn't clutch against Man City. He wasn't clutch against Sevilla. He wasn't clutch against Croatia in the World Cup playoff or the knockout stages. Lukaku's been an absolute like goon the entire season. Like it's funny because Zlatan like called him out on it, and he got mad at Zlatan for him calling him out. And Zlatan's like, bro, you're a bum. And he's like for example, you put Zlatan in those opportunities that Lukaku has in these finals, and he hits every single one of them.
Yeah,
like every single one of them.
For sure. Speaking of those northern type people, though, that did not show up today, Holland, other than that one early attempt,
yeah, he was a ghost.
Nowhere.
And
that's what I'm saying. That Italian defense really locked things down, and it was really frustrating. The players, it was frustrating the fans, the announcers, because they were Prem heads, you can tell. I think they're the guys that normally call the Prem games. And they were just like the comments they were making about the plays that are so normal for us. Not that I condone it, like the tugging and, you know, the flopping around and whatnot. But he was acting as if it was the first time he's ever seen that style of football before. And it's like, man, like the Premier League style, which is like this almost very specific style of football. And then the rest of the world does something different. Like, you guys recognize that, do you? Or are you so-called professionals only watching one league?
They're only watching one league, and you want to know what the Premier League style is press and then just throw a couple of through balls behind the back line. Like, that's literally what it is. So it's
and that's cool. That's how I play FIFA.
Yeah.
Because I can't think when I play FIFA. I just spam.
Because, like, I totally understand. And, like, for example, Inter did get, I'm going to say they did get, you know, a little bit of fortunate events towards them with De Bruyne being out, because, again, Phil Foden isn't at 100%. Phil Foden came back from an appendix surgery. So, like, he's still kind of not at 100%. And then it's like, you know, defensively, I think Inter was able to adjust a lot easier. I'm going to give credit to Acerbi, because Acerbi held Holland down quite well. You know,
and Acerbi's another one. Like, where the hell did he come from?
Yeah. So, like, he had a decent game against him. So, you know, Misaka's in and he's out less than 10 seconds.
One of you other guys need to be coming in for the call-in tonight then.
I know, Frankie. But it was, yeah, because, like, for me, it was just pretty clear cut. Like, I mean, hey, you know, let's take out Holland. Let's force them to do something where they have to overload the box, and then we'll try to attack quickly through there. I think just that final, I want to say that Allegri.
I would say Allegri, I think is I think Beppe started that one.
Yeah, I think he did, because I saw it on his thumbnail this morning.
He started that. So I got up. I usually fall asleep on the couch, get up like 3:34. So I got up to the news this morning. 4:24 a.m. is the timestamp on it, is when it all started. Bomba Allegri. That's why it, like, came up on my phone. I'm like, what? Like 4:30 in the morning? Like, what's going on? I can't go to sleep now. So yeah, it started quite early.
Yeah. So what was I gonna say?
I don't know. We just kind of
lost my train of thought.
Fishtailed.
But, you know, Gombako, Gombachero says
everyone's
La Caca.
It's funny. Everyone.
Oh yeah, you should have seen on Twitter. Adrian Sousa kind of trolled Lukaku a little bit too.
Oh, did he?
Oh yeah.
Nice. I haven't been on the Twitter yet.
And then
Oh, man.
LJJ says, "Do you guys think Pep will leave Man City?" It wouldn't surprise me if he does. Dude's practically
I
won
was wondering
everything
like where now?
Like I where would he go? Like I wouldn't understand that. KF coming in saying Allegri goes to Saudi. I start watching the Saudi. I'm gonna call it the Saudi league because
Saudi league.
they're getting all the Saudis over there. So we're
Shady.
just gonna call it
Shady is what they are.
the Saudis. KB says 3-3. Yeah, Calcio is back, guys.
Oh, there's news coming in now. Let's see if there's anything good. Oh, there's the Calcio is back thing. Juve is compliment. It's the tweets of Juve complimenting Sevilla, West Ham, and Man City for their victories.
Yeah.
It's just petty shit.
You know, it's one of those things where it's like, I think it's super corny. And like, for example, you know how Inter players were just like, oh man, I told Steven Zhang we're going to the final, or oh, we're doing this. It's like, guys, win the damn title first, then do your corny stories. Like
well, is this not exactly like Roma putting champions on their bus?
Yeah.
It's the same crap that's just it's so infuriating.
Look, and you know, we can argue about Roma getting screwed in UEFA saying, "Oh yeah, there should have been a penalty." Like, no, man, like Mourinho got that game wrong, really wrong. Like, okay, so you know Dybala can't stay for the entire game, so why not
60-minute player?
Yeah, I was gonna say, why not sub him in the second half? Because clearly Mourinho's trying to play for either a 1-0 or penalties. So like, you know, I can understand when people say Roma got, you know, screwed because of that call, but in my opinion, I think Mourinho lost that game because everyone was trolling us saying we couldn't beat a squad of geriatric players. And yet you had no one, like you had Tammy Abraham and Dybala start, and then you sub them off for Belotti, and then I don't even know what El Shaarawy. And then what is it? Italiano decides, hey, it's the 90th minute and it's 1-1. Let me press with all of my center backs at midfield. And if Paquetá does a through ball in between my center backs, bleep it. Like, outside of, I think Inzaghi, out of all the coaches for the Italian teams, I think Inzaghi actually had probably the better game plan.
Yes.
Actually had the better game plan.
I think you're right.
Like Inzaghi actually had a straight up game plan where it's like Italiano like was quiet, and then Biraghi concedes the penalty and he's like, okay, great, now we should probably start attacking, because Fiorentina didn't get a single shot in the what is it, 60th minute. They didn't have a shot on target. Like yeah, didn't happen at all.
It was bad. It was bad. What can I say? It really was.
And then it's like, for example, Roma, they go up 1-0 with Dybala, and then they're just like, all right, cool, let's hunker down. And it's like, I don't know, it's just like tactical. Just those two games, Fiorentina and the Roma game, tactically made no sense. And look, I mean, you can say the ref had an effect on the game or not. Like, come on, man. Like, there's things like, for
you can
example,
call anything.
You can call anything at this point. When we lose by stupid referee calls, we say, okay, great, that's dumb, but we move on from that. Like, I don't like using that as an out. Mourinho botched that game tactically. You don't start your two best forwards that aren't going to play the entire time. Like, if you're game planning like that, dude, that doesn't make sense.
It's a little silly.
Because it's like, for example, you look at who he had take pens. You had the guy that scored the own goal take, I think it was the second penalty in the shootout, Mancini. So it's like there was instances where there was a bunch of just blunders by Mourinho at that point. And then it's like, again, like, for example, Sevilla spams corners on us, and everyone's like, oh wow, look at Juventus letting Sevilla run all over them with corners. And then they do the same thing against Roma. It's like, did Mourinho not watch any of Sevilla's tape against us? Because Sevilla played the same way they played against us against Roma. Cross and pray. The only difference is Mancini's like, hey, let me give you guys an assist. So it's like, we can say, you know, referees have effects on games, but at the end of the day, there's some things where it's just like, you got to do your thing. You got to do your thing. And we can talk about Salernitana, but here's the thing. We shouldn't have been 2-0 down at home against Salernitana.
We should not have.
We shouldn't have been down 2-0.
That's one thing to start off with. Yes, were there horrible calls against us?
Yeah.
On and off the pitch throughout the whole season, sure.
But again, a great team does not put themselves in positions for stuff like that to happen. Like you'll have it, once in a blue moon or something like that, but in a final, like I can understand it. Like I said, I understand the idea, the logic behind it, but at the same time, like for example, I still and we have it on video. I grilled Allegri for allowing Salernitana to go up 2-0. You can say handballs or this or whatever. No, it took us a while to get going, and then we waited towards the end to really start doing something.
Dash has a little black notebook of pettiness. He records all this stuff, so we can go back.
I do, because I don't like. For me, I don't like using the officials. Great teams find a way to win regardless, even if you have a terrible ref. Marion is saying, did you guys watch Inter? Yes. We did.
We had a little bit of a watch party in our Discord. There's the scan code there up in the corner if you want. Yeah, there's I think 4 or 5 of us in there, just kind of shooting the shit, watching the game, having a good time. So it was good.
So I think I'm good on the European stuff. You good?
Yes. Yeah. Screw it. It's over. Soccer's over. Canadian Grand Prix next weekend. That's what I'm looking forward to now.
And Al Allegri, right?
Al Allegri. So we will talk about that. We'll bring it up. I will put the invite code as well. Link code. But first, I think we should talk about. We did open up a membership tier system for the channel. Sorry. As I explain this, and I get as I like choke as I'm trying to say this. So yeah, we got 3 tiers. We have $1. This is all American. $1, $3, $5. Nice and simple and easy. We went a little corny, I guess. So we have the first tier, which is Igobi or the Hunchbacks. Then we have the old ladies, and then the Giants.
We should have made a graphic for it, but we totally forgot.
We will. No, I mean, like I'm rolling it out. We're gonna get fancier with it. Add the perks in, do all that nonsense. I just want to roll it out, get it done. There's a lot of things gonna work on connecting the actual store in with YouTube. So, I mean, just interconnect. Things will happen, right? It's the off season. It's the perfect time for us, honestly, to monetize and be able to do this because we have more. There's time. I'm not like losing my mind trying to cover games twice a week and do the talk Juve and get yelled at by a bunch of Italians. So Dan's here. Let's add him in. Hey Dan, what's going on?
Hi, how are you?
Good. How about you, buddy?
Yeah, I'm fine. I thought we're very unlucky at tonight in the Champions League final.
Oh, 100%.
They had chances to win.
No, I'm 100% with you. I think they did. Because the thing is like I've always said this. Like, if I'm put in a situation where I'm in a final, I hate losing games like this. Because like the thing is like even that last kick of the game where DeMarco heads it and Ederson just gets like 2 fingers on it to push it over and out. Like for me, like again, I'm not an Interisti, whatever, but I can sympathize with them by saying I believe they had a 2.07 X goals multiplier. So that means they had 2, and I think in my opinion they had more than just 2 big chances. They had, I believe, 4 or 5. And
first member.
Oh, hey, look at that, Colin.
Slide right in there. Thank you.
Welcome. So I'm 100% with you, Dan. I think Inzaghi did a very, very good job with this game. It's just his players didn't execute.
Do you think Inzaghi could be a contender for the Juve? Could he be ideal for Juventus manager job?
I don't know. It's kind of tough to go right from Inter straight to Juventus. I think it'd be very difficult. To be honest with you, if I was Inter and Bones, new member, of course he is.
And Bones, buddy. Yeah.
It would be difficult and to be honest with you, I don't see Inter letting Inzaghi go. I think it would be very stupid on Inter's part.
What about Zizou?
What are you saying? What season?
I said Zinedine Zidane.
Oh, Zizou?
Yeah.
Part of me thinks he's going to be another Allegri with how he does things. I don't, to be honest with you, like I know people are saying that, hey, Inzaghi should or not Inzaghi. Zidane is rejecting PSG to go to Juve. Part of me doesn't think he wants to, just with the current situation. I really do think that Zidane is one of those coaches you get once you've gotten an established set of players, once you start rolling in a certain direction. I think that's when you start moving for it. But I really think that we're kind of in a soft rebuild, if not a hardcore rebuild. So I think we need coaches that would actually fill that slot quite well.
That's really creepy by Frankie. He was trying to get in here. It was like that guy breathing in the corner.
It was like Bones that one time.
And Colin, you in here? Do we have you?
Yeah, I'm here. I just didn't want to talk over you, lads.
All right, perfect.
All right, cool.
With the mess that happened with the Juventus board, you have to. Paratici has to take some responsibility for that as well.
Well, yeah, I would say Paratici and Agnelli both, because at the end of the day, Agnelli signed off on a lot of the things that Paratici was doing. Like,
yeah.
Go ahead, Colin.
This isn't a 1 year or a 2 year issue. This issue has been building since 2016, and I think anybody who's paid attention, or not one of the plastic fans that joined when Ronaldo came, I think we all knew this was coming. And to be honest with you, I'm surprised it took this long for us to shit the bed, if you will. So I'm glad it's happening. My heart's a little torn with Allegri because he bores the piss out of me. I'm almost 40 years old. I grew up watching Zizou and Del Piero together. I watched our heyday. I stuck with us to Calciopoli. I watched Inter walk all over us as they cheated their way to the top because they were involved as well. And it pains me to see Allegri coach the way he does, but in my mind, he stuck his neck out, and not in the same way as Mourinho, but he took all the shit that the media was throwing that was coming from the FIGC, and he kind of deflected. But that's where I feel like he also stopped, because he also let the players off the hook in terms of mentality as well. There was no grinta, no heart, no struggle amongst us. It was just, it looked to me as a bunch of guys that were like, hey, I'm getting paid regardless.
Yeah, let me ask you this, Colin, because this is a good topic to discuss. So, from Allegri's first stint to the second stint, part of me is starting to think that it wasn't really Allegri back then that held players accountable on the field. It was more so the players on the pitch. Like, for example, you think about it, you make a defensive error, you have Buffon, you have Chiellini, you have Barzagli. I don't think Bonucci really is much of a guy that would yell in your face, would be in your face, coming at you with a mistake. Or, like, for example, offensively, you would have, Tevez, Marquisio, Pirlo, or even Mandzukic. Mandzukic would be on your face. And I think
absolute warrior.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll take it a step farther and say that you can look at Allegri's stint in Milan and say he received a ready-made squad there as well. Because I think if I understand correctly, that's more or less what you're getting at, is that Conte handed off a squad that had the proper internal parts for success. Especially given the way he played. And I mean, I'll steal a page out of Bepe's book and say we had men back then. Now we have guys who are worried, and I'm not directing this at Pug by any means, but now we have Instagram guys, and that.
But you are kind of at the same time.
Not so. I'm not. I'm a big Pogba fan. It broke my heart when IFTV interviewed him in North America, and he's just like, no, I'm staying, and then he left.
Conte was laughable at Tottenham.
So I don't give a. Tottenham hasn't won shit in 100 years. I could give a fuck about Conte's time in Tottenham. Nobody has won at Tottenham.
Yeah, Tottenham is, as Conte said it in his post, or the interview that he purposely said to get himself fired. He's like, these guys are an organization of losers. He's like, no one here wants it. And because the thing is, and the reason why I kind of brought this up about Allegri kind of being that guy that would kick players in the ass is I remember last season with Cuadrado and Dybala requesting time off to Allegri. And it's like, we're in a crunch for top four last season. And yet you have like your best or your main contributors going to Allegri, hey man, can we get some time off? And Allegri's like, seriously? Like, this is what you're asking me? Like if you did that to Conte would bench you without any hesitation.
Absolutely. But I also think, I mean, I'm not sure what the age group is amongst all of us, but I'm willing to bet that the guys that are closer to my age range, I'm 39, working with some of the younger guys. I'm in the trades, and some of the younger guys I deal with. I mean, it's the work ethic is completely different. If I remember correctly, Dave, you said you're a helicopter mechanic or engineer. I'm sure you see some of the
I'm
students who
close
come
to your
in.
age, and yes, in the trades, I know what you're talking about.
So
Boomers.
so maybe it has something to do with that as well. I definitely feel like there is a generational work ethic gap, and maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe I'm letting people off the hook by saying that. I don't know, but I think that has part to do with it. But again, like I do feel that when it came down to some of the shit that we went through this year, the deduction, adding, and then the deduction again, regardless of what the points were, Allegri's main job isn't supposed to be watching the standings table. It's supposed to be dealing with the product on the field, and I don't feel that he fed the fire properly.
I don't think so either. Because like the thing is like again, so I said this on podcast episode 218 with the guys that's on Spotify. I said like for example, Inconvenient Truth, if you guys follow him on Twitter, kind of rated Allegri as a 5, and I understood that rating because like for example, yes, Allegri gave you stability. He didn't throw his players under the bus during interviews or anything that was going on. But the issue is there were moments, like for example, how we're talking in the chat with Salernitana, Empoli, Milan, where there were games, or Monza, there were games where you needed to kick your team in the ass to get them going, and it just didn't happen.
Well, not even to get them going. You should enter the field. When you come in with those little kids going up for the anthem, you should be going. It's not like, okay, we're going to wait till the 15th, 20th, or until they score to get going. At that point, you might as well play with me in my men's competitive league. We don't need you getting paid millions.
100%.
That's that. Yeah, maybe a bit harsh, but yeah.
No, dude, I get it. Like I totally get it because again, we're all like the boomer, the old school gen here. So it's like we get it, man.
Well,
except
for me.
Yeah, Frankie, you're
except
young.
for me. I'm the young one here. I'm the discovered Juve in 2015, and I've been with them since 2015. Guy, yeah, that's me.
You've got Gotti as your
I was gonna
profile
say
picture. That he. If we had 11 Gottis on the field, you wouldn't hear a fucking peep out of me. No complaints whatsoever.
Hey, look, I'm just saying Gatti is that dog. He like literally punched Kvaratskhelia in the Napoli game. He like literally just like wham. Like that's how you know Gatti is straight dog.
And a bricklayer. I love it.
Oh man, yeah.
He's from the streets.
It's literally it's that mentality, you know. It's that, you know, I came from nothing. I'm coming up. I'm gonna do my thing.
You know, and that's the thing that disappoints me is like it's Gatti that's doing that, not Bonucci. Like that's the one thing. Like even when Bonucci's on the field, I get irritated. Like for example, go ahead, Colin.
No, I don't want to. I've interrupted you several times. I apologize.
So like you have and you know that's the irony of this. And I don't want to say like for example, it's just we're kind of in a weird thing, but like for example, you have Gatti that's doing it, and you have Danilo that's doing it, not like the seasoned veteran. Like because like for example, you listen to Bonucci say a post game interview, he's going to say, "Oh well, you know, my bad. We just need to learn from this and work harder." Like for me, I've never seen it there where it's like, you know, I see Danilo going for every tackle, and it's a clean tackle. It's not like Quadrado where he's just throwing 2 feet in the air and hoping something sticks. But like for example, with Gatti, with Danilo, like those two are an absolute pleasure to watch. Yep. And like, for example, even Rugani, like when Rugani's playing with those two, it's a totally different Rugani. Like I'll
keep Rugani just because I love his wife.
I mean, you even see it in the interactions that Bonucci has with his teammates, you know, and on that back line, like you'll see that people like he'll go and like he'll talk to them or something, and they'll kind of just like look at him like, you know, like yeah, we know what we're doing, that kind of thing. It's like we don't need you to talk to us.
Can I touch on what this dude Kamaboko has just said? I feel like when he came back from Milan, we got a different Bonucci back.
I think
that's your break.
Yeah, I think he was mentally broken. Because it's like, you know, the thing is like prior to going to Milan, he was like, you know, Pep Guardiola wanted him for like 80 million at Man City and blah blah blah, and he never and I think Juve would have sold him there, but the problem is his kid, I believe his kid was sick and they didn't want to go far from Italy, so they sold him to Milan for, I believe it was like Caldara and like 20 million or something like that at the time. So like we sent him there as like, you know, a favor to him, and then it's like something happened at Milan where everyone just kind of, you know, he got exposed per se because, you know, he was carried by Barzagli and Chiellini. Like, let's be honest here. Like Bonucci defensively
absolutely.
Yeah.
Defensively, absolutely.
Because like Bonucci offensively, yes, he can distribute the ball, he can play the ball deep. Whereas like, the interesting thing about Gatti versus Bonucci is like Gatti isn't afraid to dribble through three guys and take it to the other side of the park. Like he is not afraid to go coast to coast.
Gatti is our best winger.
I was gonna say
By
Gatti's our
far.
best striker.
Dude's the best winger. Man runs down that right hand side. He just makes defenders look like putty.
I know it's that was the one thing that was like a big shock for me, and I think it's that dog mentality that he has, because it's like, he puts his head down, goes up, he's at midfield, takes the ball, dribbles it all the way up to the touchline, sends a ball in for a cross, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, God, he just did that.
Oh, I love his forward runs.
Like,
Can I
go ahead?
Do you mind if I ask the 6 of you guys or the 5 of you guys a question? I think, and this is better asked to Beppe because he knows more of the background of everything. I don't know what kind of control Allegri has in terms of player management or personnel management as when he brings in or lets go.
I think as of
if you're going to spend
got
80 million, if you spend 80 million on a Vlahovic, your first concern isn't to bring in Kostic. If you watch Fiorentina's games, they're not scoring, or they weren't scoring from crosses, which is apparently the only thing that we can do, and we don't even do that well. He was fed through the middle quite often. So why are we fighting to the last minute with Frankfurt over Kostic? And I feel he is a good addition, but I feel like we needed to have ball playing minded midfielders instead, and not corporate ones like McKennie. All due respect to McKennie, but guys like him and even Ronaldo, that wasn't broad. They didn't care. They had no success in mind for that. They were talking about expanding the game.
Yeah.
Like that, with all due respect, Dash, like that stupid logo you got behind you. That's that. I mean, I've got the fanning hats just like Dave. I've got the same selection. I love them. I love the fullbacks, but that ain't our logo, man.
I totally get it. I totally get you. Because, the thing is like, and I'm with you guys, and this is the one thing I always thought was interesting. So I think we can kind of agree here and come to common ground that, like, Dusan was a panic buy to get a striker, a consistent striker to get us into the top 4. That
we had the fear of missing out. That's what that was.
That it was a fear of missing out, and then that where we overpaid for him.
I got that FOMO.
And then the problem is instead of sitting there saying, okay, great, we dropped Dybala and we're getting Pogba, we're looking like we're going in the direction of a 4-3-3. What we did this transfer market, we bought players for a 3-5-2. Because, like, for example, Kostic and Di Maria make no sense as far as purchases go. Looking at it from 2020, like, for example, if it was a 4-3-3, I understand Di Maria. But the problem is, and this is what happened this season at Juve, and everyone found us out after the 8 consecutive clean sheets, where everyone's like, hey, all Juve do is send it off to the left to Kostic and just cross. Because the thing is Juventus only had depth on the left side of the field. We had nothing on the right. Because, like, for example, you had Quadrado and then maybe De Sciglio if he was healthy. We had nothing as a right option, and you can tell tactically that Allegri didn't want to allow Quadrado to push up. The problem is when you're running a cross-heavy offense, you need 4 players in the box at all times. You need the guy that's crossing. You need 2, one to cover near post, one to cover far post, and then the last one to cover recycle. And then your 3 midfielders push to the edge of the 18 for any garbage balls, essentially to send it back in. But
we didn't have the player type for the box players you're speaking of. We don't have that on our squad though.
Yeah, we
That's
did.
Mario Mandzukic.
Yeah, and again, that is like, for example,
Allegri had playing on the fucking wing.
Yeah,
excuse my language. That still drives me nuts.
So, and the thing is, and I kind of wanted to say this a little bit too. What do you guys rate Dusan's finishing when he has chances?
That's tough. My favorite part about Vlahovic is his passion. I love that he's got a crazy temper, and I love that he's Serbian.
So I'll give you guys some numbers. So he had I believe 290 shots and 14 goals. So a conversion rate of, roughly around 14%.
He shot that much? Like, where was he shooting?
That much. So, like, it counts everything. Headers, any shot or any attempt that he took. So
I'll be generous and give him a 4.
Guys, Juve have been linked with Vasquez from Real Madrid.
I heard that got shut down recently.
Yeah, I
me
don't know
too.
how much weight's behind that one.
Yeah, I don't know too much weight on that
A
one.
lot of that's coming from Marca as well, and you can't trust
Yeah.
Marca.
Marca's trash.
Yeah.
That's our version of like what do you call it, calcio mercato.
Yep.
Same
That's
same
still,
steez.
still a site. I thought that site got
What,
shut
what do
down.
you guys think of Messi going to Inter Miami?
Cool. I might get to see him play.
He's a
His-
mercenary.
I'm so
He's a
mad because
mercenary.
literally his first game is against my fucking team of Mexico.
Cruz
Cruz
Azul,
Azul. His
Hey.
first ever team. He's gonna play for Inter Miami. Is gonna be probably demolishing my team.
So
I heard they're going after Suarez too.
yeah, they're going for Suarez and Sergio
Busquets.
Busquets.
Yeah.
Wow.
I live in Ottawa, so I'm still like, even if I was lucky enough to, or whatever you want to call it, to see Messi, I'd still count seeing Ibra and Pirlo like much higher than him, because in my opinion, Maradona is the best player to come out of Argentina.
100%. 100%.
It's
I'm
still
not a
only
Messi fan.
it's still only like a 3.5 hour.
I don't know, man. Mateo Sule is obviously the best Argentinian player to come out of Argentina, right?
He might be getting sold actually.
Ironically, he might, or probably. There's like an interesting thing with dry loans, but I kind of want to throw this on the Messi topic before we transition off. So, did you guys see the letter that Barcelona posted? How petty it was?
No,
They're
Oh my
so
goodness.
bad.
I read it, but what do you expect, man? This guy bled that team dry. He can play like he is like the ultimate like Generation Y or whatever you call it. He always plays the victim, but if you go and look, how many times did that dude rework his contract, and how much did he make while he was there? And I couldn't care less what Barcelona says about them, because as far as I'm concerned, as we're finding out now, they purchased a lot of their trophies.
Oh, absolutely.
So they whatever comes out of their mouth, it's not worth really like taking to heart.
Yeah, it was like 100 on the petty scale, because like I thought.
Yeah.
So I'll just verbatim the comment. So they're saying that, hey, we appreciate Messi's time at Barcelona, and we were working with his dad to do a proper farewell. We heard that your Messi made it clear that he wanted to leave and play somewhere with less pressure and less stress, and we respect his. So it's just kind of saying that, because originally the plan was that because Barcelona is having financial issues, he would go and officially sign for Inter Miami, and then they would loan him back over to Barcelona, kind of like what David Beckham did with LA Galaxy and AC Milan, where during the summer he would play a couple of games for Inter Miami and then would be loaned over to them. So it would be one of those per se. And then again, guys, phone line is open, so if more people want to jump into the conversation, click the StreamYard link. It's in the chat. I think I'll share it again, but hop in.
I first started following Serie A in the early 90s when Paul Gascoigne left Tottenham to go to Lazio. And I was looking for a team to support, and I saw a team playing in black and white. I said, oh, I'll support them, and they were called Juventus.
Just like that.
It's awesome.
Well, my father's from Leeds and my mother's Abruzzese, so it was one or the other. And I don't get along with my father's, and I'm a mama's boy, so Juve it was. And like, even for NFL, my dad's a Giants fan, Redskins all day.
Isn't that the generic NFL football club now?
No,
yeah. They're the Commanders now.
They're
The
the
Commanders,
Commanders
that's right. Yeah,
Can't be a Redskins. It's too problematic.
it is.
What was it? The Cleveland Indians changed to the Cleveland Guardians because of it.
And my Edmonton Eskimos, I know it's the CFL, is now the Edmonton Elks. Sorry.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're all
I live in England, but I have foster family who live in San Jose.
Oh, don't follow San Jose sports. They're terrible.
No.
Nothing over there. Oh boy.
The Sharks did well for a while.
Yeah, but
Are you guys going to go to any Copa America matches next summer?
No, they're too far away. They're on the other side of our countries.
that's the one thing that pissed me off about the World Cup stadiums.
I might go down to Mexico. I got family down there.
Wow, yeah, you might.
Well, Frankie, I was gonna say, Frankie, you got to go either to the Stadio Azteca
Dude,
or
I gotta go to Monterrey Stadium, especially during the World Cup. I'm probably gonna get tickets down there for that because it's
don't blame you.
it's the most beautiful stadium you've ever seen.
if you can get tickets, that's going to be the trick, is getting the tickets, right?
Exactly. Tickets are going to be on sale like a year before. Type of thing. Like,
I'm waiting to get tickets for the Toronto matches.
Because
I said the Copa America games, not the World Cup.
Yeah,
no, but we're talking about the World Cup because we know the stadiums.
Yeah, we moved up. Yeah.
Quick transition.
Dan's like, no, it must be just Copa.
Well, yeah, no, I'll probably go down. You know, I mean, Copa America. You know, I'm close enough to where I could like go down to Mexico and then travel to like somewhere for the Copa America. You know,
why not?
Compachero says penalty for Argentina.
I think Uruguay could do quite well in the Copa America under Marcelo Bielsa.
I don't know if they will.
I think they're under. I think they need a couple years because their under 20 team is actually really good.
Yeah, Bielsa needs time to develop his squad. He's a very cardio based coach, and that's not something that comes up real quick. And if those players aren't with him 24/7, I have little confidence that they're going to maintain that work ethic.
Yeah,
but they have Lord Bentancur.
They have Bentancur to save the day.
Bentancur and what was it? Ugarte, who just signed.
And then they have Cavani on a wheelchair, because I'm sure they'll still call him up.
I can't believe that man's still playing.
Oh, he's what, 37, 38?
I think so, late 30s. But like, that's the thing though, when you're speaking about like Western teams, like for example, CONCACAF and CONMEBOL teams, like none of them actually are like physically built teams. Like if you've noticed, anytime you see, like for example, look at the World Cup, you have Brazil play against Croatia, and Croatia's like physically set, like cardio, physicality.
Okay, although Croatia's like even above the Western European clubs in that too.
I mean, Croatia got Mandzukic as an assistant coach, so he over there running them into the ground.
Because that's the one thing I've noticed, and outside of Argentina's little penalty barrage during Qatar, but like if you noticed over the past like decade or so, like you'd see it like whenever you'd see a Western Hemisphere team versus up against a European team, they would just get bodied every single time.
So are you saying that's where we got Moretti?
Yeah, get them a couple of memberships to LA Fitness or something, and some protein powder.
Send Moretti to Croatia. Is that what we're saying? Send him to Croatia on loan.
Look, low key. Like, look, I love the kid, and we love him.
Send him down to Mexico. He'll get bodied up in Mexico. Send him down there. He'll grow muscle quick.
Look, and the thing is, guys, like, look, I'm gonna be honest. Like, if Moretti is able to pack on some pounds of muscle, I think Moretti would be an absolute dog in the midfield.
He needs 20 pounds on him.
I think he needs to get just a little bit bigger. Same thing with
I just wonder if it's gonna be like a Keane situation where it's like he gets all that muscle, he doesn't know what to do with it initially for like the first like 15 games.
Oh, that's always part of it. Yeah, you got to figure it out.
Yeah, you gotta get used to that new muscle mass, because I mean let's be real, the dude's a twig right now. He's a literal twig.
Well, he's just stiff armed. Like the only person that can look lean and manhandle other players is Rugani with Zapata, because that was hilarious.
What about what you were saying with Keane and Dusan?
Oh my goodness! Yeah, you guys ever see the training videos with Keane and Dusan?
Yes.
Like Keane ragdolls him like it's nobody's business. Like it's insane.
Keane is a bus, man. He's a literal bus.
Yeah.
I wish Keane could fix, like, if Keane can get his touch better, he could literally be what Lukaku was supposed to be.
Do you feel that consistency of play would help that though? The guy's yanked in and out all the time.
I do.
I'm not a huge Keane fan, but I do have that question.
So I'll address it. That's easy. So like the problem, and I think the thing is like, for example, and one of the things that I respect about Keane is, again, his ability to just kind of start, because like he grew into the season, but the issue is like, I really think if you put Keane for at least a season or two at a Salernitana or at like a mid-table team where he's consistently getting regular minutes, I think Keane will explode.
He wouldn't if you got Dia to compete with.
Well, that's true, but Dia's going back to Valencia, and like, because the thing is, guys, like Boulade Dia is literally a more developed Moise Keane. Because, like, for example, they have the same pace, the same strength. It's just Boulade Dia has better touch, better control. So, like, because again, Salernitana's offense runs through Dia, and if you guys haven't seen film on Dia, watch film on Dia. He is a very great striker. Again, he contributed to 22 goals in Salernitana's season, which ties Kvaratskhelia. And again, Salernitana versus Napoli, where Salernitana, I think they have 3-4 chances a game. if it's not being slapped in the net by Kondreva. But like, for example, you look at Dia's play style, Dia just is a beast. And I think if Keane is able to get more consistency, develop a touch and a shot, a better shot, I think he becomes like a Dia, like a 40 or 50 million euro striker that, again, will bag you 15 to 16 goals in your in your league a season. And then, you whatever you add in Europe is like house money. Because, like, for me, because Keane's still, I believe, 23 years old, so Keane can still develop.
I thought
I
he was
just
younger.
I think he's 22 or 23.
Isn't he 22?
I think he's one of those two.
Yeah, because he was on the under 21s, right?
No,
So,
Yeah.
no, dude's he's 23.
23. He's 23. Yeah.
23.
so
I
how
think
is
he-
he still able
yeah,
to play for the under 21s?
So you're allowed to
You're
have
allowed one.
you're like one or two on the slot for it.
Yeah, you're allowed like one, like under or over 21.
Guys, do you know if Roberto Mancini has ever been mentioned for a Juventus job?
Not
No.
seriously.
Not seriously. He's an Interisti. I don't even think he
Uh,
would come.
I don't even think I'd want him.
Thank you.
I don't even think I'd want him, man. Honestly.
One thing I was gonna say about like the whole King thing is like I never understood why Allegri refused to play him and Dusan together. Because one thing I noticed, King provides like he drags defenders to him, so he creates a lot of space.
He does.
He's very much a target man where he can hold the ball and play can catch up to him.
Yeah.
And so and I feel like Dusan would do good with all that space. Like even though like I'm not the biggest Dusan fan from this season, but I feel like with Keane providing him the space, he could have done a lot more.
So go ahead. No, you're good. Go ahead.
I feel a lot of this is kind of redundant because you can talk about dudes scoring left, right, and center, but it ain't going to mean anything if we don't have the people supplying the ball. And I feel that, like, you don't need to shoot the ball in the net. You can walk the ball into the net if you have the right passes. And we didn't have anything to start the playoffs, or the plays off. Sorry, we had most of our passes were like negative or lateral. We didn't have very much forward movement. In the third, we were. I'm tempted to say non-existent, the final third. So I think like a lot of these little missteps along the way is where like at how we got to this end picture. You know?
Yeah, and you're 100% correct on that, because I think the one thing, Dave and I have commented whenever we're covering stuff on Twitch is like, holy smokes, this final ball is terrible. Like, geez Louise. Like, and the thing is, it's like, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, the staff that we have right now of players is three different eras. You have some of the Morata, you have some of the Paratici, and you have some of the Cherubini. And all of them don't synergize with each other. None of them synchronize with each other because it's all different play styles, different mixes, and none of it makes sense because, like, for example, there's no chemistry between the players. Like, for example, you can look at Inter, say what you want about Inter, but when those guys counterattack, they know where to put the ball. They do. Same thing with Fiorentina as well when they counterattack and they do their business. With us, it's like you have the ball, Locatelli's looking around, he's like, wait, where do I send this? Where do I go? Or like, for example, Kostic is just kind of like he looks down, he receives the ball, looks at the player, looks down, takes a touch and says bleep it, and then just launches it into the box. Where it's one of those things where there isn't that much build-up play, there isn't any much consistency. And then again, Juve bought Dusan for a thing that they're not using Dusan for. Because Dusan isn't an Icardi-esque player. I don't think he is. I think he's one of those guys that, you're running through the middle and you're making all of your plays. So, for example, if you watch Dusan's Fiorentina tape, all of his goals, his best goals, are him scoring from a through ball through the middle on the run and redirecting it into the net.
Exactly.
Which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But again, you need to be able to do that. Because, like, for example, we can say, well, Rabiot had a great season, but Rabiot passing, I don't think all of us think Rabiot's known for his passing. He's known for his work rate, his defensive
Dybala
play.
and him would have worked out great, but the problem with Dybala is for $7 million or whatever it was, you need to be playing 30 games a year without breaking down.
Exactly. And the irony of Dybala here, and I know we have a bunch of Dybala fans in the chat, and I'm sorry, guys, but
but screw you.
No,
screw you guys.
I'm a fan, but you have to be realistic about it. It's Juve first, player second.
Exactly.
Unless it's Del Piero. Unless it's Del Piero.
So take the 10-point deduction away and we readjust the tables, because the one thing that kind of irritated me was like a lot of the comments saying, it's poetic justice that Dybala sent us to the Conference League. So minus the FIGC interventions, Roma regressed this season with Dybala. Dybala had the same amount of contributions that he did with us last season, and Roma actually finished in a worse position on the table. So I was seeing a lot of stuff on the internet saying, "Oh my gosh, he's revived," and blah blah blah. For $3 million, I would have kept Dybala, and that's how Roma's doing it. Roma's paying him, I believe, $3.5 million a season right now,
and that's not an absurd wage for him.
That's fair.
Not. It's fair because, like, for example, what did he want with us? 8 plus 2, 8 plus 3.
He wanted, some were adding up to 10.
Yeah, it was like
it was plus 2.
So yeah, he wanted $10 million a season, which is again the same amount that Dusan makes, because I believe Dusan makes 7 plus 3 with bonuses, but I don't think he hit a bonus this season, so it's only 7.
I hope not.
Right, unless they made him really easy.
Thank goodness for that one.
So because you look at that, and it's like, for example, Danilo makes less, and Danilo's only missed 1 or 2 games, and that was just because of rest. Like
utility players, man, the blue collars, they never get enough credit.
And Juve's always been one of those squads that has those blue collar players, and I feel like outside of Danilo and Gatti, like we don't have any.
Ravella is one. We shipped his ass out.
I know.
Nice coming back. He's on his way back.
That's great. We can wait till September to reap the benefits of that one.
I know.
I mean, at least he's on his way back.
I mean,
So-
yeah, at least we'll get to see him next season.
I think. Go ahead.
It's like this. I guess I'm bringing it back to the overall issue again, but it's all these missteps. We have these great Italian players, and not to be whatever against other nations, but Juve has always been at their highest when you had an Italian core. The Azzurri were always at their best when Juve were at their best. So the Azzurri is suffering because we are suffering. And I don't give a shit what Inter or those shitty Napolitano bums say. Azzurri is Juve. And we have the players to do it, but we don't respect youth. Look at all these coaches that we're cramming over. They're giving youth chance. And we're wondering what's wrong. Well, we have the players to be successful with, and I agree with Beppe. We're not gonna be winning anything right away, and it does take time. But we have these players, and we ship them out, and then we go spend money on players that don't even come close. Respect McKennie, but McKennie can't wear any of the boots of our Italian youth. None.
It looks like we got official fan club Empire State joining us here. Welcome in. He's currently muted, but he's got a dog.
Hey
as
guys.
well.
Hey,
How's it going? That's my dog. I don't have my camera on because I'm here for my phone.
No, it's
No
fine.
worries.
We love the dogs. We love the dogs.
Yeah, I've heard multiple times that Dash and I do look like we could be related though.
Okay.
We might be. I mean, this is just me using a voice changer, guys. So it's like I don't have my camera on. I'm on my phone here, posing.
I mean, Dash is in Michigan, so.
Oh no, I'm in the New York area, but who knows whose dad got around.
I know.
I'm
Just
just
a
saying
road
we've
trip.
never seen y'all two in the same room at the same time.
Neither have I.
Exactly.
So KB's getting anxious here. He wants to talk about the Allegri nonsense.
So I'll open it
So
up.
I came at the perfect time.
All right, there we go.
Open it up, so I'll open it for you guys. So I'll just say this. So I believe it's Al Hilal is offering Allegri $20 million a season for a 2.5 year contract. If I was Allegri, take your payday, man. That's $50 million in 2 years. That's the most the coach will ever make, unless you're Diego Simeone. You guys go.
Allegri, take the bag, bro. Take the bag. Get the hell out of here. I'm sorry. Just take the bag.
I mean, we're all praying he takes the bag. I mean, if everything goes accordingly, I'm going to be wearing a Saudi keffiyeh and a Galatasaray shirt for all of next season.
Is that alluding to Zaniolo, or what are we going with this Galatasaray?
No, I'm alluding to Galatasaray taking all of our trash.
Oh,
Yeah.
you want them to take it or trash?
So-
Okay.
Oh,
Yes.
Alessandro.
So I'll give you guys the lowdown on that one because he actually brings up a good point. So Galatasaray is looking for Weston McKennie, Zakaria, Artur, and Alexandro. They want to purchase all 4 of them.
I would
Surely we
rent
can
them.
do it.
I would
Take
keep Zakaria. I would keep him.
No, I
Listen,
do like Vicaria still.
If we have to lose Zach too, I'm willing to lose Zach if it means all the other ones are going too.
Yeah, but this isn't the NHL. You don't have to do a 4-man trade.
Well,
I don't
I
care what
mean,
we do.
Galatasaray might be like, yo, we ain't doing it unless we get Zach too, type thing.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, sure. But if we're talking individually, I think Zachariah showed some bright spots when he was here. Of the four, I feel like he's the best to go with that.
Get rid of all four. Bring in Zaniolo and Icardi. 4 for 2. Go NHL trades.
I like Zach because of the fact that he can play both in the midfield and he can also play as a defender in that center back role.
He can never stay healthy though. He was healthy at
injury prone.
Where was he? Mönchengladbach, right?
Yeah, he was at Mönchengladbach.
He managed to stay healthy when he was in Germany, but the second he moved, he was healthy for like 2 games, and he got injured. He was barely available for Chelsea. We do not have a good record with players like that. We could get Inaki Williams, and he would spend the whole season on the bench with injury. Like, we need to really go for players that are solid. We need more Rabios.
You know what's kind of funny about Zakaria was when he went to Chelsea, kind of baggage. Yeah, but you know what's funny is Zakaria was saying in an interview talking about Juve's training and conditioning program and how it sucked, and then like he literally got injured and never saw the field after that weekend. He said that for Chelsea. Like I thought that was ironic.
And just to answer LJJ quickly, yes, Cambiasso was coming in. They might be looking for more backup as well. We'll see.
I believe that what was that left back for Empoli? Parisi, yeah. I believe we're also looking at Parisi allegedly.
That would be a huge steal for us. Parisi, it looks like he could be maybe not a generational left back, but he could definitely be like an Italian national team mainstay once he's at, the peak of his powers. Yeah. I would like to see Parisi in black and white.
We need a blue. The thing is like a lot of folks are really focused on that sexy like Joe Cancelo, Alphonso Davies. Where honestly, I think we need to look at like those blue collars, like that Federico DeMarco as a wingback. Because like for example, again, he's an Inter player. I understand that, but like for example, he's not a sexy option, but he's a good consistent option. And I think that's what we need to, because a lot of people are focusing on like again those. Trent Alexander-Arnold's, the Joe Cancelos, and all those kind of players where I really think we need to start looking more so at some of those like just nitty-gritty dogs in that position.
Look at who we've been successful with historically as fullbacks, right? When Sandro was at the peak of his powers, he was a dog. He could go forward, but he was still a dog. Stefan Lichtsteiner is the profile of player we should be going for. A lot of people don't like, for instance, like the Mazzocchi links from where's he at Salernitana.
Yeah,
but I think Mazzocchi is one of those players that he's like 27. He's a little bit of a journeyman, but he's got that dog in him. He's played in Serie B. We've had success this season with Serie B defenders. I mean, let's look at it. I mean, I would love if Gatti could somehow transform himself into a right back, because that would be amazing.
I think he could. I think
he could do it. I think he could do it, man.
I keep telling people he might be big for a right back, but like he's amazing when he's playing on the right side of a back three. I mean, there's I can't imagine there's that many more difficult skill sets that he would need to acquire to be a competent left back. Especially
shooting and passing, but
put him at right wing.
Frankie's gonna make a case for right.
First off, hey, shooting and passing, he's like one of our best strikers right now as a center back.
I know.
Yeah, but I mean, like that would be something to have to focus on a lot and just like conditioning,
sure.
Right?
He to me seems like the kind of guy that played for like some kind of Serie B, Serie C youth system while he was laying bricks. And like he was just the massive dude, so they were like, "You're going to be a center back," but he's like, "But I'm an attacking midfielder." Like, no, you're a center back now.
Yeah, because if you see,
look at his ball progression. Look at the way he plays. I mean, he was. I mean, I feel like we could pull up a stat. I'm not a stat guy, but he's had so much more positive ball progression than some of our midfielders all season.
I mean, I tried to research it and see like maybe if he played like any other kind of position, like maybe in his youth or anything, but I just couldn't find anything on him.
I was saying like the way he brings the ball up in the field and like can I actually get it up there. I kept saying that do a good CDM or right back.
I just don't think I don't know if he has the dribbling chops to maintain the ball on the wing. I think that is what he would need to work on the most. But also, you guys are forgetting that Andrea Barzagli, there's a good chance that he's going to come back as one of our defensive coaches.
That's right.
Andrea Barzagli is the reason Juan was a competent left back. People forget that.
Yeah.
That season when he started to deputize as a right back, he was the guy that made that happen. Barza being on our defense team made that happen.
Yeah, that's right. No, that's actually a good point because it was the Sarri season, and Barzagli was actually on Sarri's staff working with Quadrado to convert him to a right back. So yeah, that's whole facts right there.
Well, if Barza's coming back, that could spell good things for the defensive prowesses of Kostic and Illing Jr. potentially being left backs.
Yeah, and the thing is like part of me, guys, like I really want to see if Allegri, because again, I think more than likely, unless I believe Al Hilal is going to announce if Allegri takes the deal or not, but I really want to see Allegri switch to a 3-4-3 because I think with a back three we're good, but I don't see a 3-5-2. I think you need to have a left wing, a right wing, and then a striker in the middle. And I really want to go ahead.
Oh no, I want to see a 4-2-3-1. I think you utilize the best out of our midfielders. You can have a lot of double pivot pairings that work, I think, and then you can kind of let Fajoli cook as a 10. You could let maybe, unless he goes, try to let Sule cook a little bit as a 10. Let him cook on the wings. I think it allows for a lot more flexibility and then also a lot of defensive stability as well. Plus, we also have seen Max be successful with a 4-2-3-1. If Max is going to be our coach next season, which we have no idea about, so it's all pure speculation at this point.
You're speaking music to my ears because you guys know I love the 4-2-3-1.
Guys,
Go ahead.
guys, when before Arsene Wenger left Arsenal, Allegri was being linked for the Arsenal job. Did you know that?
Yeah, no.
Oh,
Yeah, it was the gap year between when he got canned from Milan and before he came to us.
I mean, he's being linked. He gets linked to many different teams as well. Right? Like he's already linked to 2 Saudi teams.
wasn't he linked to China after he left us?
I think he
Yeah.
may have. Yeah, I mean, and that's the point. He's being linked.
You know that's interesting. The Chinese Super League, Chinese Super League, literally died right because of COVID.
Yeah, it's just not
Yeah.
existing.
It's like
And now,
I
it's
mean-
Saudi. And now it's Saudi.
Yep.
It's a whole nother conversation, but the Chinese economy is based off of dreams and fairy dust, and so I can't imagine how they were able to maintain that for much longer.
Well, yeah, because it was Suning was coming in. They're going to invest billions in Inter, and then China was like, "Yeah, you can't take money out of the country anymore." And Suning, Steven Zhang's like, what?"
Well, that was like a party policy, right?
Yeah.
So
Has anybody read that? I think it's New York Times article about how Inter's on the verge of complete financial collapse and that they can't sustain this for much longer.
yeah, I did read an article recently about that. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, because they're taking loans on loans right now, and then the problem is they're trying to sell the club, and I believe it was the Qatari sports group that wanted to purchase Inter, and then they're like, the club's value is like 500 million. Why are you selling it for 1.2? That's because of all the debt that they've incurred.
Yeah, we want you to buy all our debt with the club.
But hey, at least it's not American owners, because look what happened to Milan. They just fired their club legend for no freaking reason.
I still don't know why that all happened.
That still makes no sense to me at all.
Because they wanted to do Moneyball. Maldini said, no, we can't do Moneyball. It's not sustainable if we're going to challenge consistently. And Redbird, because it's an American company, they're like, all right, Maldini, you and Massara can bounce.
They already moneyballed though, and they're at the point where they just got to put the money in.
Yeah.
Like they've already gone through the process.
They moneyballed the hell out of it with Leao, with Tonali, with Taylor Hernandez. Like, I mean, they
Which
had.
also, can we just talk about how shady it was that Elliott Holding at the time owned both Lille and Milan and kind of just sold themselves Leao?
Yes, I forgot about that actually. Thanks for bringing that up.
How is that? How is that not plus valenza? I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Guys,
But were they part of the Super League? No. So
I'll never forget when Gattuso had a fight with Joe Jordan when Tottenham played.
Somebody talked to me about that. They're like,
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Sorry, you said Gattuso, so
yeah, no. Hey, remember the one time Gattuso was ready to square up with Peter Crouch and Tottenham's coach? And I was like, yeah.
No, he had a fight with Joe Jordan.
What?
He tried to have an argument with Joe Jordan when Tottenham played AC Milan in that Champions League.
Yeah, it was their technical staff.
Yeah. That's quite funny, I thought.
Yeah, and then Peter Crouch tried to jump in on that too.
Yeah.
And then LLJ, you're saying that Maldini left? I could have sworn I thought they relieved him.
No, I think that's his opinion.
In the newspapers, in the articles, it was that he was released, but we don't know really what happened. It might have just been like for the papers type of thing.
I gotcha. So you know what? Since we're kind of talking about Massara, so let me ask you guys this on the panel. What do you guys think of the next gen sporting director being promoted to the first team? Do you think we should have probably gone for Massara?
I think that is a sign that we're just going to wait for Giuntoli.
Yeah.
Okay.
That to me just screams like, okay, we can't trust De Laurentiis because why would De Laurentiis help us? I think that I would love to see Massara get announced for Napoli because that would mean that Giuntoli is coming this season.
All right. We got fresh news coming in.
Does that not scare you a little bit that we're putting all our marbles in one bag, though? Like Giuntoli is the only one that can save Juve, just because they've got one good season. He's had screw ups in the past, just like every other sporting director. So I think a little intimidating that the guys at the top are just like, yo, this one guy is the only guy that can fix things.
For me, I think, I'm a firm believer in the age-old Einstein adage where you cannot solve the problem in the same mindset in which you created it. And I don't think that Giuntoli is going to come in with the same mindset. If they bring in Giuntoli and they let him do his thing, I think it'll change maybe some of the culture at the club, but something has to happen, and it cannot happen from these internal hires because that's not work. It didn't work when we promoted Paratici. It hasn't worked since.
All right, fresh news. I'll get this out. The offer to Allegri is real. In reality, it's a second higher offer. The first one was rejected. I can't tell you if there will be this meeting in Monte Carlo in person. Allegri still denies all the circumstance, and that's from Monblano. So two offers. That's why we're hearing.
There wasn't a 27.2345 percentage that it's going to happen.
Not this. No percentage this time.
So when there's no percentages for Monblano, I actually have a tendency to believe it a lot more.
Yeah, when there's the other ones are just jokes, obviously.
I mean, Pepe said it on numerous occasions where Monblano loves to create these narratives and drives a news narrative for something to happen, and you could tell when he's doing that.
You can learn everything you need to know about sports media by watching The Young and the Restless in Italy. It's the same shit.
Yeah.
Though, it's kind of so if we do that, if we are waiting for next season for Giuntoli, I really think he's going to make Allegri march and pull in Spalletti because Spalletti's his guy. I'm not going to lie. I really think that's starting to go that way.
A lot of it makes sense. We really can't truly start the rebuild until after next year because of all those contracts that we were still holding on to. And probably, are we going to get rid of Arthur Sandro? I mean, who's going to pick him up with a year left and $7 million? So all these guys are leaving at the end of next year.
Galatasaray? No.
Yeah, I mean, maybe an angel spreads its wings.
There's a chance that we pay some of them out to just leave?
I think Arthur we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, and that's my concern is like we're gonna get to the point where we're gonna have to start doing buyouts for contracts because
And like Allegri, do you buy him out? It's all money.
yeah, the thing is, I honestly, I really starting to think like if there isn't like a sign of drastic improvement next season, or if we don't perform well, I really think if it is Giuntoli, I believe he's gonna come in and bring in Spalletti. I wouldn't be unless Italiano has an absolute like miracle wonder season next season. I think, and guys, you can roast me all you want, but I really think if it is Giuntoli, I really starting to think that Spalletti might be the next coach at Juve.
I don't want Spalletti. I don't want Spalletti for one reason, in that like if you watch Spalletti when things start to go wrong, he puts his head down and he crumbles, and his teams crumble. I mean, I think I don't remember what it was a couple seasons ago. Someone was like, "You want Spalletti to start your season, and then in January you want to switch for Allegri because he's going to he's going to maintain the rest of it for the rest of the season."
I mean,
And the reason that Napoli was successful is because they essentially got to have 2 summer preseasons, because what did they send, like 3 people to the World Cup?
Yep.
So they had 2 preseasons. I personally, anybody with a Napoli tattoo should stay as far away from our club as possible, in my opinion. I think that is a pretty solid kind of benchmark for being a Juve coach, is if you don't have Napoli tattoos. Give me somebody new, though. I would like to see. Personally, I'm a huge Tudor stan. I think that he's raw enough, and I think he has the right stuff. I also think that he's not afraid to put players in their place. So,
What about Paulo Fonseca?
say again, Paulo Fonseca.
Nobody
I
likes
don't
him.
know. I don't know enough about Fonseca to have an opinion. I've heard, I wouldn't mind Italiano either, to be honest. But I don't want, and I definitely don't want De Zerbi. Definitely don't want De Zerbi.
Hard knowing De Zerbi. All right, that doesn't happen often.
I know. I was gonna say like
I was gonna joke about it and be like, "Hey guys, what about dessert?"
De Zerbi's not
No,
coming.
I mean, look, people can like him all they want. I just think that he's one of those coaches that once you have his number, you will run through his team.
The Zerbi had, for some reason, like that Dusan effect where people just protect him with their lives. I don't understand it.
People just don't battle over any idea these days, though. That's
Meanwhile, if you look at goals per minutes from our strikers, Moise Kean is our best striker.
Moisey.
Yeah.
And I'm also a big Moise Kean stan. People don't understand it, but I've literally followed this kid's Primavera career since he was like 14, 15 years old.
People don't understand it because they're not actually looking at the numbers and seeing what's happening.
If you watch Kean's game tapes from he was a Primavera player, he was unplayable. This kid would score from anywhere and everywhere.
Yeah, he really needs some consistent game time, some confidence getting back in it.
For the memes I make alone, I love Kean.
Speaking of which, Frankie, we're gonna need you to do some memes and gifs and all that good stuff, and we're gonna toss it out.
Some Lukaku memes.
Yeah, like whenever you got something good,
whatever you got, we want the works. It's funny. I had like a character arc when it comes to Moise Kean, because Dave can hang me out to dry on this one, because like, so I've known guys. Me and Dave have been working together on broadcasting for what, 2 years now, almost 2 seasons.
So, yeah, a year and a half, but 2 seasons overall. Yeah.
Yeah. So like back then, I used to hate Moise Kean. Like, oh my goodness, he used to irritate the hell out of me. And Dave's like,
well, you spent enough time with the main host over there at that other channel, and I'm sure you're gonna start to hate everybody.
He brainwashed me, and Dave liberated me, guys.
Dave saved me.
Dave hit you with that electric shock therapy. He said, "Right, you gotta get it out of you."
Well, yeah,
I'll take my wins when I can, because Dash knows way more than I do. So
because like Dave would tell me, he's like, "Come on, man, just give him a chance." I'm like, "No, this guy's an absolute bum." And then it's like I'd say that like because it would be like, so they had like a private chat that you could be on when you were members, and I would just be sitting there. I'm like, "Oh, Jesus Christ, here we go, Moise Kean." And then Keen would score every time I would say something in the chat, and then Dave would just poke me every single time. She's like, "Hey man, Moise Keene starting. What do you think about this?" I'm like, "Oh man, this guy's an idiot." Boom, we score, clinch top 4, and I'm like sitting there, and it's like when we came over to this, I'm like looking at it, I'm like, "Dave, I think I've been a little bit too hard on Moise," and he's like, "Yeah, you have." And then it's like
Everyone's too hard.
and then we had we had the 8 consecutive win streaks with Moise scoring 6-game winners in all of them, and at that point, I'm just like, all right. I'm an idiot.
There's something in that kid. He just needs consistency.
I'm an
I
idiot.
was telling Dave that while we were watching the final. It was like my biggest thing is like he gets so much hate, and I don't understand it. Like he's doing just as much as or more. He's doing more than Doosan, but they protect Doosan and hate Keen.
Also, Keen as a right footer actually has a left foot.
There's that.
Ooh, that's petty, but I love it. I'm for it. It's like that Ronaldo meme. I like it. I will think I enjoy it.
And remember, he's half the cost.
Yeah, exactly.
So can I ask you guys this on the panel, and feel free to answer this? Why? So I kind of, because I don't understand this. So why is a fan base? Why is Juventus treating Dusan like that hot girl that you pulled at the mall and you don't want to lose her?
Marketing, and we already shipped him off to Everton, so we've put very little value into this guy. Whereas the Dusan chase was so hyped up, the amount of money we've spent. I think Juve set the fan base up for it. I'm nowhere near as knowledgeable on Keane as the dude underneath, but I'd much rather have kept with him, not bothered with Dusan, and when he's on the field, there's maybe 1 or 2 guys you can say work harder than Keane. And again, for me, like work rate is paramount.
I get it. 100%.
I feel like it's
Also-
exactly how you said that. Dusan's just the next piece of hot ass, so that everybody's just like literally. That's literally what it is. That's literally what it is. He's the next piece of hot ass, so everybody's just literally like on his nuts.
The female fans with Dusan is like how I am with Grosso.
It's literally like all you see all these Twitter accounts talking like crap about the club, and it's like they're all Chiesa, either Chiesa or Dusan fan accounts. That's all they are.
Yeah, that goes back to that perpetual question of like why just follow it's a team sport and you follow one person. Like,
You guys, I've never heard Allegri do an interview in English. So what's his English speaking?
He doesn't speak English.
Honestly, we really need to be asking what is his Saudi like.
Well, they'll buy him a translator.
They'll get him a translator.
Yeah.
No.
That's pretty universal.
It would be actually la. About as far as my Arabic goes.
Deep down, I don't think he's going to jump on that deal. I think if he can, he's going to stay at Juve, and he's going to do it either out of pride or out of spite.
I don't think he wants to leave Italy. He said that multiple times. He rejected.
He's shaking his head, but he knows it could be true.
It's you're probably accurate,
guys. You guys hit it on the nail, because a lot of folks don't understand. Allegri is the king of pettiness.
I thought that was you, Dash.
I gotta bow down to my master, but because like you guys ever see some of the stuff he does on the touchline or even in the locker room or some stuff, like he is extremely petty. Like someone was insulting Keane, and you see Allegri cross-arm turns around, he's like I don't see you out there. Why don't you go out there?
I think that was my favorite Allegri moment of the season.
Like, what else with Spalletti? Like, Spalletti kind of goes up to him to try to like, hey, look at me, I beat you. Like, it's 5-1. He's trying to run up to Allegri for a handshake, and Allegri's like, dude, get out of my face.
I got a new meme in for y'all.
Oh, is it going in the Discord?
Yeah, it's in general.
Let's see.
The bottle drops. You people that just make these things, it's like out of nowhere, on the fly. All right, let's get this up here.
So, hey guys, what's the over/under on Megan Thee Stallion dumping Lukaku after that blunder?
Apparently, she already unfollowed him on Instagram.
Did she really?
I mean, that's what I've heard. But
I'm on my way to Instagram right now. I totally don't follow her already, but I totally listen to her for her music. Totally.
Totally.
She makes music.
Not anymore. She used to.
Well, I mean, if Lukaku is any sign of how her career is going, I mean, she's probably about to bottle it in that
I was gonna say
department.
no wonder those two are a match for each other. Interesting. I always thought it was corny because she like has a lyric. Megan Thee Stallion has a lyric. She's like, went to Italy, got me an Italian poppy," and I'm like, oh boy, you just jinxed this dude's career.
Ooh, I do not see. I see. No longer following Romelu Lukaku.
Damn.
Oh wow, that wasn't a meme. That's real. That's hilarious.
Wow, that is funny.
I heard something about Keane. She started following Keane. No, I'm kidding.
Oh no! Don't ruin that poor boy. Don't ruin him.
Well, I'll tell you what. Out of the two, only Keane is the real Italian poppy.
Exactly.
Just, I mean, facts are facts, guys.
It's true. It's true. You know, the thing I always found interesting about Lukaku is like the guy's rated 100 million. Like his build-up play is great, but I have never rated him as like a phenomenal striker.
He's great in FIFA.
He's great in FIFA. Like if you're running him in FIFA, hell yeah, Ultimate Team, run it.
He's a
Bang
bus.
average though.
He's a
look
bus
what
in
he did in the
FIFA.
Euros. Look at he was fucking nothing in the Euros.
I know.
Italy shut him down. He didn't exist.
Yeah,
I know.
Me and my buddies always joke around saying like he doesn't take shots; they're just bad touches that go in.
Damn. Lukaku lost both the girl of his dreams and the final.
That's a pretty
That's
big
on brand for him.
That is.
It's really on brand for him. I
You know,
mean, just
The thing that always irritated me about Lukaku was his sense of entitlement on the pitch, where it's like, oh, like if you ever seen him play, even with Belgium, where he's like, oh, this needs to go. Like you'd see him like tell Kevin De Bruyne to like give him a better pass. I'm like, did you just say Kate to De Bruyne to give you a better pass? Like, bro, do better.
That man swears he is the best striker in the world, and I don't understand it. Like that's a level of confidence that's beyond delusionary. Delusionary.
well, that's kind of my problem with Dusan. He's kind of the same. I mean, he kind of acts like, "Where's my service?" It's like, God, dude, get involved. If you look at Keane in comparison, he is like, okay, who has the ball? I need to get into this space. Thierry Henry says there's a great interview with him when he talks about Arsene Wenger as a coach. And Wenger looks at him and says, "Are you going to pass to every player the same on the field?" And he's like, "No." And he's like, "Okay, so are you going to receive a pass? Like, if you're going to receive a pass from Dennis Bergkamp, where do you need to be? If you're going to receive a pass from this guy, what positioning need you be in?" I feel like Keane pays attention to who has the ball and where he needs to be to get it. Is he always 100% on the final product? No. But he actually pays attention to the other players on the field, whereas Dusan does the same thing over and over again and just expects that this cross from Kostic is going to land on his forehead.
Even that in his positioning is not the best. Like
It's
for
not.
example, there's times where it's like he's not even in between near post. He's not even between far posts. Like for example, I trolled Lukaku and I'll pull the image up and I'll send it to you guys here on the chat. But like I pulled it. Oh my god!
I gotta change the Mikel Arteta to Romelu Lukaku. But yeah.
No, but
Oh my god, that's cold.
I'll send you guys the image of where Lukaku was, where he blocked the shot from DeMarco. But like it's just like
I saw that.
Like,
oh my goodness.
Because like the thing is I just always find it interesting because it's like I don't understand it, but Dusan for some reason always gets lost on the pitch, and I'm like, dude, no, where are you? Like you're not supposed to be there. Like move here, do this, and it's just like for me it gets super frustrating where it's like. To me, it's almost like, again, like you guys said, like that sense of entitlement where it's like, you had a great 6 months, bro. Like, you stop acting like you've been dominating for 3 or 4 years.
But we put that into his head.
I know. So, like, there it is right there. Taught by Giorgino Chiellini, everyone. Back heel clearance.
I heard Maguire sent him a friend request.
Maguire to Juve. Let's get him.
But like here's the thing that would issue, like for example, if I was DeMarco, I would be fuming at him because like look, he literally looks at DeMarco the entire play while he's blocking because this thing is going the way that it's going, it's bouncing down, it's going over, it's gonna go over Stone's head and go into the top corner.
Ederson's on the play. He's done.
Yeah, like he's
I'm gonna have this image framed and put it up in my house.
Please do. You want me to get you the Sevilla one too? Because he did the same exact thing against Sevilla in the Europa.
Oh, I could do a diptych. That would be fantastic, Dash.
Like, oh my gosh, just do it. Because like the Sevilla
Maybe
one,
we are related.
yeah, I know. Same wavelength. But,
So I want to actually talk about Ederson. Is he perhaps the most overrated goalie other than Frankie and Ochoa?
Hey, Ochoa is not overrated. He's underappreciated, okay? Underappreciated. He kept Salernitana going this season. He shit on Napoli strikers, okay?
But no, like Ederson, in all seriousness, I know you love Ochoa.
I just think he fits the Guardiola mold. Sorry. So
Yeah, playing out of the back.
Yeah, he fills a role. I mean, it's like not every striker is good at everything. I mean, if you're the goalkeeper. If we're comparing, like for instance, even at Juve, comparing Woj and Perrin, Perrin, in my opinion, is more of a shot stopper, and Woj is more of a like all around goalkeeper.
Yeah.
And I don't think Ederson ever really needs to be a shot stopper because Man City will just force more goals down your throat. This is like the first time in months that he's actually had to do anything. And
and that's
at the end of the day, I mean, a goalkeeper only needs to be available. I forgot who said it. Juve doesn't need a goalkeeper that is good to stop every shot for a whole game. Juve needs a goalkeeper that will stop the one shot that they get.
Yeah, I think
that's what Ederson is. He stopped the one shot that they got, and I mean Lukaku stopped the other one, and that's great.
To his credit, like as a goalkeeper, it's hard to tune out. Say your team's dominating for 70 minutes. It's once to build your tempo up in spikes. It's not an easy thing. So credit to him for making the few saves he did tonight because I thought they came out of nowhere because I mean, not out of nowhere, but most of the possession was in Inter's end.
But he also made a lot of mistakes, like 3 maybe solid mistakes this game that could have cost him multiple times.
You could even argue that first stop that he had, that he stopped with his leg, was
that was accidental.
Fluke.
That was accidental.
That was accidental. His hands were in the wrong place.
You can't tell me that he saved that on like purposefully, because man, that was like just your leg was there in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, I guess I'm bringing this up because I was never a huge Ederson fan. And, I mean,
I think he's good, but he isn't like the best shot stopper. That's why Brazil still always goes Alisson over Ederson for that specific reason.
Yeah.
Let's not forget, guys. Also, Alisson also was second to Wojciech Szczesny.
I think
Tech is. I mean, he's a monster. Come on.
Also, if you ever see Tech in person, which I have, he is a massive human being.
Oh no, he's like I can tell just on the television, he's massive. I can only imagine in person. Yeah.
His forehead makes up for like 3/4 of his size too.
Oh man. Yeah. No, he's certainly.
Polish people are tanks.
Yeah. No, and he can do it for somebody that size.
I'm married into a Polish family. Trust me, there's a lot of tanks in that family.
So the problem for me with Szczesny, like I can't get out of my memory, is I don't know if you guys ever saw this, but when he was at Arsenal, he did the Carly Rae Jepsen parody of "Call Me Maybe," but he said, "If you need to save a penalty, just call me Szczesny. I'll save it maybe." And I'm just like, I can't.
Oh no! Did he actually do that?
He did that.
I'm so glad I don't pay attention to this shit.
No, I saw it. I was like literally going through reels, and it's like flashback. Remember when Szczesny did this? And I'm like sitting there, I'm like, he just ruined it. Man.
It's also like the most low production video you've ever seen in your life, and you're like, how did a professional football club put this out?
Well, it's Arsenal. What do you expect? They had to cut the budget for the stadium, guys.
Man. And actually, I just thought of something too. I got an email. Colin, was it you that was saying you're into the hats?
Yeah, man.
Juventus just released a whole new lineup of hats, so check it out.
Well, I gotta check that out. I need a new hat.
Yeah, there's actually one of the youth ones looks really good. It's a lot like the yellow one back there, but it's just a classic black and white, like a white
But
hat with a black
are they all
brim.
snapbacks?
Not all of them.
Okay.
A lot of them are. But yeah, like it was a youth one. I was so disappointed because I would have just like bought it like that. But I gotta fill it out. I gotta.
All right, guys.
Everything.
So I found the Sevilla. So if you guys want to frame this on your wall too, here we go. Lukaku's finest. Oh, did it freeze? Damn, this guy's video quality is trash. Wait for it. There you go.
Frozen to the spot.
Like, look at that top upper 90 finish there by Romelu Lukaku for the other team here. So bicycle kick from Sevilla. What a pass! Boom, top corner.
Wow, dude, striker's finish. Striker's finish.
Striker's finish there. Majestic work from Romelu.
Beauty. Wow. All right, guys. Well, that has been an hour and a half. We got everyone in all at once. No pregame or any of that nonsense to do. So before we kill it, is there any like burning anything? Does anything burn? Do we need to talk about it?
Can we pray for Allegri to take the deal?
We can absolutely pray to whatever God that you do your thing to. Do your thing to your gods, everyone.
Just a moment of silence to Allegri to take the deal.
Take the deal, damn it, Allegri. Take the deal.
We gotta go ahead and raid the Eredivisie for all the Mexican talent. Let's do it.
Oh, you get off all your Mexican boys. They're not that good.
Bring in Santiago Jimenez. Bring in Edson Alvarez. Bring in Jorge Sanchez. That solves all our
Chucky
problems.
Lozano. He solves all of our problems.
No. I don't like Chucky like that no more.
Oh, you're over it.
He's a Napoli player. We don't.
Okay, I got you. I was gonna say, I'm like, damn, Frankie, that's cold.
Yeah, just drops him. Colin, any last things?
No, I got my cussing out. I disagree with a lot of the takes. I think we should have gotten rid of Szczesny. I don't think he's worth the money. I think Perrin's are okay to build up around, especially if we're going for Karnaseki.
And those are options. If we're looking to save money, Tech is, one of the guys you move.
And I'm scared we might be screwed with either Cuadrado or Sandro because of like I think they're not even options for the extended year. It's if you hit a certain mark in your contract.
Sandro was extended.
Yeah. Sandro is an automatic renewal. Cuadrado doesn't have a contract. He's technically a free agent right now.
Cuadrado is willing to go down to what was the number?
I believe $2 million a season.
Yeah, it was vastly reduced, and he's a good.
I'll take $1.2 million a season.
Yeah, at that price for depth,
okay,
you kind of keep him around.
But with Sandro, I really hope we get rid of him because I think a lot of you guys or a lot of people in our fan base are going to be going through some PTSD because Allegri's not going to Saudi Arabia.
No, and that's what I'm saying. It's
don't say that into existence.
But that's why I'm saying next year is really where the rebuild really takes hold.
Say it so we get some some reverse jinxing. So we say he doesn't go, but he actually does go.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I just saw the tweet. Nima's kind of pissed off about Inter losing.
Yeah.
His thing was this. He's like, "Hey, we win, we lose some, but hey, at least we don't financially dope and we don't bribe referees and we never play in Serie B." And I'm like, "All right, buddy, take your L and go home."
Wait, did he really say that they don't financially dope and they don't cheat? He knows that the only evidence of Calciopoli is against Inter, right?
The guy,
they got off because of statute of limitations.
Oh my god!
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
For the record, I'm just gonna say here, for the record, it was Farhad that got him on the channel, and I said I don't really like the guy, but I'll give him a chance. And the next week he threw Beppe under the bus.
Yeah, we felt so bad because we had him and we thought we had a good conversation with him, and then he goes with that full hit piece on Beppe on Twitter, and we're just like, oh shit.
Yeah. That was something.
Not impressed. I'm not impressed with that man. But anyways.
Also, I threw some Gatti appreciation. in the Discord.
Jesus.
That first Gotti picture is
wow.
that's what I think of him.
There is some weird shit going on here.
Join the Discord for some shenanigans.
That's what I think of Gotti. That first picture. That's what I think of.
See some weird shit. You just follow the link or scan the barcode up in the left corner, and it's right there in the general chat. So, all right, Tal. Sorry, is that your name, Tal?
Tall. Sorta.
Okay, I got to work on that one.
Like the A and dash.
Ta.
Yeah.
Okay, Ta. All right.
It's like Paul with a T. Yeah, I don't really have any more takes. I'm pro Keen. If to kind of echo what Colin said, if Morge has to go because we could sell him, then let him go. And I also think that was like largely why we sold Keen when we did, because he was like the only player at the time that we could have sold and made a profit on.
Yeah.
And I just pray that next season is not as painful as this one was. I think that's all we can ask for. I don't know if we're gonna get it. But I also think that when Juve is underestimated, we play better. And I also think that when we are on I feel like we've always historically played better when we're in first place. And I'd like to get back to first place, which is what I call home for us. So I'd like to get back home. And I think that we play better when we're home. And that's what I'll say about that.
Love it.
That's a good one. I like the new one.
Home is where the Morata is. Come on, bring him home.
Yeah, you see, it's actually, man, if the Arabia thing didn't come out today, Morata was going to be on this thumbnail.
Home is where the Morata is. Please come home, Morata. We miss you.
Oh, man, we'll talk about that one day.
Honestly, I'd rather.
It would be the first time. It would be the first time that Morata had Juve controls the fate of Morata.
Yeah,
which has never happened.
I know.
In my opinion, we should have never. We should have paid the $60 million to Real to get him the first time.
I agree.
Yeah, back when we had the money to do so.
Yeah.
But now
Alrighty.
we're at.
Frankie
Bones, any of you guys?
You guys got anything?
No, I'm good.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, it was great.
Hey,
yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, this is the intent of these shows, guys, on Saturday nights.
Yes.
Dave and I are just here. You guys say your takes, say your dreams, your hopes and dreams. If you want to call me an idiot, that's perfectly fine.
I'm just I'm hanging out, having a drink, hanging with the boys or girls. Girls are allowed.
I just want to say, dash Allegri out.
Not saying it. I'm not saying it because then Ari's gonna take a video of it. Ari's gonna take a video of it and then post it on the internet. Look at this Allegri stand. I finally convinced him.
I'd be here Saturdays, but I work like every Saturday.
Yeah, not tonight though.
So it's not
appreciate
not
it.
tonight.
So you took a Saturday off for the Champions League final, but not for us. Okay, I see how it is.
No, I just didn't work today. I wasn't on the schedule. I'm leaving on vacation, so I'm taking advantage. I'm like,
oh, beauty, enjoy.
Ooh,
you going anywhere?
Going to Vegas.
Ooh.
Hey, I just came back from Vegas.
Yeah.
I was say, guys, if you see Frankie passed out on the roof of a hotel with a mattress or in the desert in the trunk of a car, you probably know why. So.
At least he had a good time.
I'll be down there. I'll be down
but
there.
did you die? No.
And thanks to Dan as well, who joined in. That's sort of his thing. He just leaves unannounced.
Yeah, he just comes in and leaves.
He's done that like on live watch alongs. He'll come in, he'll talk, he'll go quiet for a couple minutes, and he'll be like, "All right, I'm done," and leave. It's like,
the best part about Dan that I love about Dan is we'll be when we're on Juve's Twitch, guys, when we're covering Juve's stuff, we can't talk about new coaches or anything like that.
He knows this.
He knows this. He knows. I've told him this hundreds of times, and he comes in. He's like, "What do you think about De Zerbi coming to Juventus?" Or "What do you think about Zinedine Zidane? The coaching rumors on that." I'm like, Dan, I can't answer these questions here.
Oh, what a man! What a man! But that being said, does anybody want to do an outro for us?
I'd say the dash 2.0.
All right, you got some music.
Oh, wow. All right, guys. Thanks for checking us out on the Turin Giants here and joining all of us. Dave and Dash, thanks for having all of us here and letting us give our takes, whether people like them or not. I guess catch you guys next Saturday on the next call-in show, and I'm sure there's going to be some news articles and stuff that you're going to cover at some point or some of the other. And yeah, that's what I got.
All right, awesome, guys. Remember, the memberships are open and active, so join in, and we're going to continuously add free swag and some other swag on the membership tiers as well. Join in, be a member. It'll help me and Dave pay the bills because we invested a lot of crap into this. But anyways, on that one, guys, we'll see you on Tuesday when we do our next live stream. And we are doing an educational video on Mario Kart. Boom, spoiler. Sorry, guys. But anyways, everyone, thanks. Forza Juve. Dave, take it away for me.
His name's Mardo, not Mario. Peace out. Love you all.
Okay, fine. I butchered it. Shit.
Forza Gatti. Forza Gatti.
Nice.